No! I cannot allow you to do this! Well, why not? This movie is considered to be a classic among many viewers and critics alike. It's one of the most beloved Steven Spielberg films of all time. You can't just go and pick on it! I was able to get away with Ace Ventura and no one complained about it. You were lucky with that one, but this one is different. Besides, it's too soon to do it since I know, he did a review of the sequel, but I planned this out months before I knew he was doing that one, and besides, they can't complain that I'm doing the original before he did, regardless of what he thought of it. I'm only trying to protect you, lad. Who knows what may happen if you do this? I think I can take criticism. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a review to do. Just be careful. There be crazy people out there.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke. Your love life's to your way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you. When the rain starts to fall, I'll be there for you. Like I've been there before. I'll be there for you. 'Cause you're there for me too.
Growing up, one movie that really fascinated me as a kid was Jurassic Park. This movie to me was like the grown-up equivalent to every dinosaur-related thing I've seen. Films like Land Before Time and We're Back, and even the TV show Dink the Dinosaur. It's like a movie made for older audiences was enough to bring me in even as a child. For a while I was part of the on and off fad of dinosaurs being the in thing. This film was bringing in wonders in the world of cinema, with its groundbreaking effects and storytelling. Of course, the story being based off the book by Michael Crichton. I was never a book person, so I never read it, thus I'm sad to say I can't make any real comparisons to the book and the movie. So it'll all just be based on how it runs without having read it. With that said, here's my personal look at Jurassic Park. So the movie begins on the fake island of Isla Nublar, with many hard hats and the park's warden, Robert Muldoon, as we see what we thought would be a T-Rex rustling in the trees, but it's actually just them moving the contents of this large cage into an even larger cage. And since it's the beginning of the film, somebody needs to die since that's what always happens in these type of thriller movies. Who's it gonna be? Ah, the gatekeeper. Thanks for volunteering. Because of the unfortunate loss of a random life, Lawyer Donald is sent to find the owner of the park, John Hammond, in regards for inspection in order to determine the safety of the park. Apparently, research experts are needed, including Dr. Alan Grant, who's currently being foreshadowed.
Grant? You'll never get him out of Montana.
Why not?
Because Grant's like me. He's a digger.
So he's looking for the mother lode? Anyway, we cut to some paleontologists digging up fossils in the Badlands? So that's where we got the name from. Okay, so it's here we're shown to our main character, Alan Grant, played by Sam Neill. He and his assistant, Ellie Sattler, played by Laura Dern, are helping the team dig up these extinct creatures and teach the younger generation all about their living habits.
Velociraptor's a pack hunter, you see. He uses coordinated attack patterns, and he is out in force today. And he slashes at you with this, here, or here, or maybe across the belly, spilling your intestines. The point is, you are alive when they start to eat you.
Alan Grant. He's a role model for children everywhere. Because heaven forbid a few inches of easily removable dust get on our research. Hello, unknown old guy who may or may not be from the chopper.
Hey, we were saving that.
For today, I guarantee it.
Ellie, this is Mr. Hammond.
I'm sorry about the dramatic entrance, Dr. Sattler, but
say
when you're a bit in a hurry.
You might have destroyed years of research, but it's okay. You're famous. So yeah, Hammond here is played by Richard Attenborough. He's here to try and convince Alan to come to his dinosaur preserve, but Alan isn't all that persuaded at first.
I'm sorry, this isn't possible. This is a... We just dug up a new skeleton.
Well, I could compensate you by fully funding your dig.
And this is a Very unusual time.
For a further 3 years.
Hey, when all else fails, bribe them with money. And here's our human antagonist of the film, Dennis, played by Wayne Knight. Oh, Wayne, I could see you acting as a villainous toy collector, but a computer expert and smuggler you are not. He's making a deal with a man from Biosyn, the rival corporation of InGen, who are the ones responsible for Jurassic Park, in regards to getting dinosaur embryos and smuggling them through a shaving cream can.
I'm screwed open.
Oh, you God.
It's cool and compartmentalized inside.
Calm down, Wayne, it's just shaving cream. Also keep this in mind, 15 species this island has. Imagine how many more are added throughout the sequels. Anyway, Alan and Ellie are joined up by the lawyer from earlier, as well as Jeff Goldblum's character, Ian Malcolm, who happens to be a mathematician.
Chaotician, actually. John doesn't subscribe to chaos, particularly what it has to say about his little science project.
Odswallop, Ian, you've never been able to sufficiently explain your concern.
Oh, John, because of the behavior of the system in phase space. Dr. Sattler, I refuse to believe that you aren't familiar with the concept of attraction.
I don't care what anyone says, Jeff Goldblum is awesome. His way of speaking can work when put into the right character. I mean, it's the same reason why we enjoy Christopher Walken so much whenever he's on screen. After landing, they set across the island, and soon enough we reach the moment in the film in which we have the first of many epic reveals. Holy crap. Yes folks, this was the height of CGI technology back then. While the film would still bring in animatronics for various scenes, most of the film plays out with CGI dinosaurs that look so real, you could almost say this was on Avatar level of realism. Even now I still find this to be as breathtaking today as I did years ago.
How'd you do this? I'll show you.
So now they're taken to the visitor center, where they're shown a theatrical presentation of how the dinosaurs on the island came to be. Now, while this is a nice explanation to everything going on, the way they do it is, well, just watch.
What? Oh, Mr. DNA.
Oh my god, it's Louie the Lightning Bug's cousin, Mr. DNA!
A DNA strand like me is a blueprint for building a living thing. And sometimes animals that went extinct millions of years ago, like dinosaurs, left their blueprints behind for us to find. Using sophisticated techniques, they extract the preserved blood from the mosquito and, bingo, dino DNA. And virtual reality displays show our geneticists the gaps in the DNA sequence. We use the complete DNA of a frog to fill in the holes and complete the code.
Of course! Don't you know anything about science?
At any rate, they're shown the actual lab, and they decide to break the ride in order to get a closer look. And it's here we get another marvel within this movie.
Come on then. Come on then. Very good. Push. Push. Very good. God. Push. Come on. Come on.
Aw, it's disgustingly cute. Also, they say that in order to control breeding, they made all the dinosaurs female, which doesn't stop Ian from saying this.
If there's one thing the history of evolution has taught us, it's that life will not be contained. Life breaks free, it expands to new territories, and it crashes through barriers painfully, maybe even dangerously, but, well, there it is.
What species is this?
It's a velociraptor.
You bred raptors.
Why, don't you remember when we said we had a T-Rex? Can't have a park without them.
Dinner time.
They should all be destroyed.
Oh, hello, Robert. Glad you could make it. How's your raptor fetish going?
We bred 8 originally, but when she came in, she took over the pride and killed all but 2 of the others. When she looks at you, you can see she's working things out.
Nice to know. So after a meaningful lesson from Ian about nature and extinction being selective, we now bring in the target audience for both the park and the movie.
Grandpa!
Kids! Go away!
We miss you.
Ah, Hammond's grandchildren. With them here, nothing could possibly go wrong, right? The girl's name is Lex, while the boy is named Tim. Lex is a bit more tame than Tim, since he likes to stalk.
I heard that there was this, meteor, hit the Earth someplace down in Mexico and made this big crater. Then I heard about this thing in Omni, about this meteor making all this heat, and it made a bunch of diamond dust. And that changed the weather, and they died because of the weather. And then my teacher told me—
Tumblr! And with that, they're off on a fun-filled dinosaur adventure. Where are all the dinosaurs exactly? Look, even Jeff Goldblum's bored.
Now eventually you do plan to have dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour, right? Hello? Hello?
I really hate that man.
Eventually, Alan breaks yet another ride by getting out of the vehicle, just so they can all have a look at the sick Triceratops that's currently being tended to.
She was my favorite when I was a kid. Now I see she's the most beautiful thing I ever saw.
Animatronics at its best. Ellie thinks the cause is due to the Triceratops eating the natural plant life, so they literally have to dig in their feces. She decides to stick around while everyone else goes on without her. Meanwhile, at the lab, Hammond learns that the tropic storm they knew about is going to hit full course, which means it's time to stop the tour. Dennis, though, begins to execute his plan by implanting a virus into the system, all so that he can steal the embryos. By the time everyone catches on, it's already too late.
You didn't say the magic word. Please! God damn it! Hate this hacker crap!
I have had it with this monkey-fighting hacker on this Monday Friday pod. Oh well, at least the dinosaurs are asleep. Ladies and gentlemen, the real star of the movie, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, the original king of the dinosaurs.
Hey, Jesus. Hey, Jesus.
Wait, what the? What's a restroom stall doing out here? I thought this was a ride-only attraction. Why the hell would you have something like that in the middle of nowhere?
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Also, as a rule of thumb, never shine your light in the eyes of any animal, for you know what will happen? Should we do something? Nah, they will be fine. Seriously, the kids are in trouble. Do something! No, don't eat Jeff. He's actually funny. Eat the lawyer guy. He bailed out on everyone. So Alan gets Lex out, the T-Rex returns, and through some thrilling moments, they eventually fall down on the other side of a ledge that leads to more forest. Meanwhile, Dennis ends up crashing, and while sitting a lying down, he runs into a Dilophosaurus.
Nice dinosaur. Oh, thought you were one of your big brothers. You're not so bad. You're not so bad.
Why the hell would you keep something that important in your coat? Why didn't you just leave it in the Jeep? Doesn't matter though, because this is the part where he dies. So much for our villain. He was only a super hacker henchman in the end. So now Alan has to get Tim out of the tree. I'm sure by this point, both kids are mentally scarred for life.
Let's throw up.
Tim, I won't tell anyone you threw up. Just give me a hand.
Okay.
Or not. Well, at least getting out is easy.
Oh, no. Tim, go.
Well, we're back in the car again.
At least you're out of the tree.
Even in danger, they find the time to make some funny remarks. Ellie and Robert arrive at the site, but are only to find Ian. They do learn that Alan might have taken the kids away, but they won't have time to look because he's back.
Come on. We gotta get out of here. Gotta get out of here. Now.
Must go fast.
Oh Oh nice, a future film quote. So now Alan and the kids decide to camp out in a large tree for the evening, as they marvel about how fascinating the dinosaurs can be despite everything they've gone through.
What are you and Ellie gonna do now if you don't have to pick up dinosaur bones anymore?
I don't know, I guess. Guess we'll just have to evolve, too.
What if the dinosaurs come back while we're all asleep?
Well, I'll stay awake.
They even get a visitor.
Go away!
It's okay. It's a brachiosaur.
It's a Vegisaurus, Lex. Vegisaur. Come on. Up here.
She got sneezed on.
God bless you!
Meanwhile, Hammond sulks about how much he wanted his park to be something real rather than an illusion like his flea circus.
I wanted to show them something that wasn't an illusion. Something that was real. Something that they could see and touch. When we have control again.
You never had control. That's the illusion. I was overwhelmed by the power of this place. But I made a mistake too. I didn't have enough respect for that power, and it's out now.
She's right after all. You can play God all you want, but in the end, you have no control over nature. Isn't that right, Neo-Earth? Oh, and remember when Mr. DNA said they used frog DNA to fill in the gaps? Well...
Now, some West African frogs have been known to spontaneously change sex from male to female in a single-sex environment. Malcolm was right. Life found a way.
Paid to no expense, huh? Probably should have paid for better scientists if they didn't see this coming. So now Hammond thinks shutting down the system will fix everything, which Ray thinks is risky. They do it anyway, and while it works, the circuit breakers blew out, so now he has to go turn them on. But never mind something boring like that. Let's see the T-Rex eat something. Awesome. So when Ray fails to come back, Robert and Ellie decide to go out and see what they can do. Time to bust out the big guns. As they stroll along, they see that the raptor cage is open.
No, we can't. Why not? Because we're being hunted.
So he goes off to play Turok on his own while Ellie heads to the maintenance compound. At the same time, Alan and the kids make it to the large fence that separates them from where they need to be. Gee, I wonder if it still works.
That's not funny.
He'd make a great parent, wouldn't he? Oh, and how convenient that the switch for the fence they're at is the last on the list for Ellie to activate. Gotta love conventional tension.
1, 2.
Okay, I'm not even going to bother with the physics of that one, since even I don't know what the hell happened. Anyway, Ellie is then attacked by a raptor, and even Mace Windu's arm makes an appearance.
Oh, Mr. Arnold.
And now to see how our dinosaur hunter is doing.
Clever girl.
You know, you could have shot the one in front of you and saved us the trouble. Whatever. Alan and the gang make it back to the now empty visitor center, and like a good adult he is, he leaves the two behind while he goes looking for help. Yeah, leave them defenseless while there's dinosaurs running around, you stupid paleontologist! He does find Ellie, and at least the kids are safe.
You sure the third one's contained?
Yes. Unless they figure out how to open doors.
So now it's 2 kids against 3 raptors. Well, okay, 2 at the moment. Who do you think will win? It's a good thing children have high survival rates in movies. If this were in real life, they'd be dead a long time ago. They rejoin with Alan and Ellie as they head to the control room where they have to reboot the system in order to lock everything. It's a good thing Lex told us she was a hacker earlier, otherwise it would have been out of nowhere.
I should never try anything new. Just sit in a room and never come out and play on her computer. I'm a hacker. That's what I said. You're a nerd.
Then again, so was the moment she actually told us. They get the locks back up, they call for help, and it seems like everything will be fine.
It's gonna come through the glass!
Never mind. The struggle eventually makes it out into the main lobby where they have a battle on skeletons. This will make a great end level for the video game, but it looks like they're at their wits' end. What can they do? It's our star of the movie! Yeah, you want some? Very well, you can die too! No one messes with the king of dinosaurs. Nobody! So they get to the chopper, they leave the island safely, and we get one last look at how they relate to the birds. All I can say is, this movie kicked ass today as it did back then. It's a real marvel when it came down to the technology involved and the kind of story that was driven with sheer execution, and I just wish I could have read the book as well. The characters were fun and the acting solid, the CGI was done well, though some spots were pretty obvious, and the soundtrack is just fantastic. I say Steven Spielberg did a great job with this movie, though with the sequels, not so much.
My friend here thinks it's fine the way it is.
I recommend seeing it. Oh, please do. It's just that awesome and should never be forgotten. I'm the Media Hunter, bringing you movies straight from the wild. Alrighty, time for some PvP action. Who wants some? Damn it all. Oh, what the? Where am I now? Well, if it isn't the little reviewer who thought he could do a movie that the great one didn't do himself, even after doing its sequel. Who are you and why can't I move my legs? You are bound by a powerful spell that only I, the great Warlock Jaleo, can possibly conjure. My assistant Boris had you incapacitated and brought here so that I can torture you with a movie so bad you'll never think of DreamWorks the same again. What are you, a fan troll? Why would it matter if I... Wait, you said DreamWorks? Why, yes I did! You want to know what it is I want you to watch? Roll the movie, Boris!
We will gather enough food to...
Oh god, no! Not that movie! Not yet!